computer. Hello, everybody, to the Intersect Town Hall on 29th August. And today we kick off with over 29 people currently in the call. And at the beginning, Vanessa will lead us into the town hall and share a bit what is town hall about.
All right, well, this is Town Hall for the 29th of August, which is run for now by Swarm, but hopefully soon enough it'll be run by the whole community. So first of all, what is Intersect? Let's have a quick introduction. Intersect is a member-based organisation for the Cardano ecosystem, and it's tasked with ensuring that Cardano has continuity and its future development is secured and bringing stakeholders together. You can find out more at the link there. So what's a town hall? Well, a town hall is a regular meeting place for a community to come together, share its updates and discuss important issues. It's somewhere where you can reach many people at once from your community, from all sections of the community. And it's an open space where anyone can stand up and share something. But there is a structure. So we have sections where different parts of the community can bring content. So in other words, it's shaped by the community that it serves. So its nature and what it's like depends on who is here. I'm very glad we are to have all of the people here who are here today. Now, what's an after town hall? After Town Hall is basically an informal community-led event that happens immediately after a town hall, hence the name. It consists of a series of breakout rooms, each one facilitated by a community member about a topic that's of interest to them. For example, they might share something that they're working on, or they might discuss an issue that they care about. The breakout rooms all happen simultaneously, and you choose which one you want to go to. So anyone can sign up to run one, and you can run it in whatever style you like. And the Swarm Town Hall team can offer you support with planning, facilitating, or documenting. Just let us know in the sign up form, which is on the next slide. There's a QR code to it there, and it's just first come, first served. So please do sign up if you fancy running one. Right, this is today's agenda. We're in the middle of the opening and intro now, then we'll move to a Zoom polling topic. There'll be an update from our town hall planning sessions, and then there's lots of updates from committees, working groups, grant awarded teams, and special interest groups, and then an update from the Intersect staff team. Then we have a little connect and integrate section, which some of you who've been here before will know about, and then we move to after town hall.
Yeah, one thing before we will go to the Zoom, I thought I will share a bit of what happened in the last town hall. So in the links and later.
Kind of the direction of any AI or machine learning systems-wise.
Now I just removed. And yeah, so we will have some video, of course, out, so you can check. There will be links on the chat, so you can later look it up. We also had an after town hall, so if you were missing that out, that's an additional video. You can look into it. And of course, after every town hall, we do a summary where all of these links and information is aggregated together. But jumping right into the poll, and so every time we like to try to take one question, and today we were going to have a question on which words do you think are most misunderstood or misused in Intersect? And so everybody should have an option for polls and quizzes icon in the Zoom settings, or if your screen is small, then under the more sections you will have a button for polls and quizzes. Over the course of this rest of the updates, I might update a bit, remind there is a polling going on. As you can see, every now and then new people are joining, and I will just add another 4 people in. And check out who will join, because some of them might again unmute themselves. Yeah, so that will be the polling. Next one is town hall planning sessions, and Vani will share a bit of that.
Yeah, so the planning sessions happen twice in a month, the first 2 weeks of the month usually, and the key issues in August, first of all, firming up our survey about Town Hall. You can see the link there, I'll post it in the chat in a minute. We're asking people to tell us what you think about Town Hall and how it should be in the future. We also focus quite a lot on getting updates from working groups and how we do that and how we reach all the people that are doing so much hard work and get them to bring something to Town Hall and what the lines of communication are. There was quite a lot of discussion about that in the planning sessions. So yeah, Tevo, if you just want to jump to the link to the community problem board, people are of course welcome to have a look at it and add things to it. You can see there things that are kind of have been raised and fixed, things that are being worked on, and in the first column, problem is identified. We've had some really interesting comments from someone who I don't actually know, but if you're here, OMG, thank you for raising them. And I hope you'll show up maybe at a planning session to talk about things further. I don't know if you just want to like open a link there, Tevo, on yeah, low participation in working groups, just to see the kind of things that people are raising. Yeah, participation over the long term is very likely to, yeah, I'm struggling to read that because it's quite small on my screen, but if you can zoom in a little bit.
Participation
Yeah,
over the long term very likely relates to feeling heard. Any system that cannot feel fresh faces will suffer from bias and old faces. Feeling heard isn't possible for Town Hall until asynchronous mechanisms are in place. Beware the working groups that exclude members from expediency's sake.
I mean, it feels like there's a story behind that. And this is the kind of issue that we hope that town halls and town hall planning can address. But the ultimate aim of these planning sessions is to kind of get people in the community able to run town halls at the end of this year when the Swarm contract ends. Cheers, Tivo. That's kind of all I had to say on that.
And now we go to the community committee working groups, all the special interest groups. And yeah, these are actually the slides that invite people to submit. So what just Vanessa mentioned, like we don't want to create slides for you and find the updates from your meeting summaries or somewhere in Discord or anywhere else. It would be cool if everybody, if they have something to share, come together in one place or some communication lines where we can take it. Else it's, as it scales, it gets somewhat like not scalable to, or not sustainable to always make updates on behalf of somebody else. And on the next slide, there is a template that we shared. We started it last town hall and we shared it to everybody, and then we go around in different communication channels to share it out. And yeah, now we have quite many results over that. So the first one would be governance tools workgroup, and Lorenzo is here from the team who could share a bit.
Sure, happy to go through this. So for context, the governance tools working group is the working group that is responsible for the Cardano governance tools, including GovTool and CC Portal. Over the course of these past months, we had reviewed the goals that as a group we think we should have for these governance tools going forward, and also longer term vision for where we think these tools are supposed to go, so we can also get budget for the future years. Because this working group is for, again, this GovTool, and GovTool is an open source tool owned and managed by the community. We also started to organize this community backlog. There is a link here in the slides. You can see what are the proposals from the community there. And also we started to have good connections and presentations from some of the core maintainers of these governance tools, such as Byron Network and Deepodon. There were some great presentations about the work that they did so far and what are we doing. So if anyone is interested, there are the recordings there. And yes, so there is a link to the Miro board so you can see the work that we're doing. But if you want to join the conversation, we meet every week, 10 a.m. UTC or 4 p.m. UTC, depending on the week. I think next week is going to be 10 a.m. UTC. So anyone who wants to join, please, you're welcome. And that's the Google Meet link there. was as quick as possible. Tavo, back to you.
And next one would be Hard Fork Working Group. Who would like to
Hi, everyone. So my name is Matt. For those who don't know me, I work at Intersect. So I'm also honoured to be the chair of the Hard Fork Working Group for the Chang upgrade #1. So hopefully you're aware that on Wednesday the Hard Fork Working Group voted, and we voted unanimously to initiate the hard fork, which will take place on September the 1st. We held a really interesting Q&A today, which isn't quite up on our YouTube yet, but it will be by the end of the day, around what happens at a hard fork for those of you that have never gone through it before, what to expect, what it feels like. The answer, quite reassuringly, is not a lot. It should be relatively calm. So I think there's another little link that will come up on this deck. But on Sunday the 1st, our very own Jack Briggs is going to host a couple of live events as we cross the threshold. So please follow our usual channels, join us on X, formerly Twitter, as we celebrate moving into the new era. But just to reiterate, if you haven't already heard, hopefully you have, that Chang #1 will happen this Sunday at about 9:44 UTC. That's it.
Pretty cool. Yeah, there are also the same socials as Intersect. Everything is there. All the updates will come through the common channels. Next up is Core Infrastructure Roadmap Working Group, and they share update about new special interest groups. This will be done by Juan.
Hi, everyone. So we are the Core Infrastructure Roadmap Working Group. We are supporting the product committee and to develop a process and define a scope that we can enable an inventory of essential services that support vital economic and social activities within Cardano. And we are working together with the Technical Steering Committee and the Budget Committee to take incoming proposals and test it against a growing list of core infrastructure work. So as you can tell, this list cannot be done without you, the community, and hence that's why we are setting up various special interest groups, or 6, for you to join and provide your input to guide the roadmap for 2025. So far, we've set up DeFi dApps, stake pool operators, scalability, and interoperability. We're also looking to set up Cardano tokens and identity in the near future as well. To join the 6, all you need to do is to click the link below, and then that will lead you to the list of 6 listed on this slide. Select the ones you are keen to follow and make sure that you click on the follow button that's in the picture under the more 3 dots. So please don't forget to click on the follow button, otherwise you might miss any important developments on these respective forums. We are also setting up a AMA on the Product 6 next Wednesday at 2 p.m. UTC. Together with Sam Adders, we'll be there to explain the what, the whys, and how-tos, and more. So please be sure to look out for the Discord event page before the end of the week. And that's it from the core infrastructure. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm looking at the chat and I see there is a question for probably the previous slide about hard chunk update. Matt, would you be able to answer that?
Yeah, I was just reading it. So we had 3 thresholds for going into Chang. So the only technical threshold that we required was SBOs to be at 75% by stake. The second threshold, which had a number associated to it, was liquidity. It doesn't have a technical bearing, but obviously it impacts people's trading. So we had to wait for that to get a reasonable proportion. So I think we were aiming for 85%. Both liquidity by stake, although liquidity does fluctuate quite a lot, and SBOs are now both about 92%. And the third criteria is really subjective, and it is dApps. So we didn't set a specific threshold. All dApps are different. The development cycles are different. How they're impacted is different. But we are about, just trying to check, I think we're about 60% of the top 50 dApps by TVL have confirmed readiness. And this indicated 2 things to us. A, it was possible. So enough dApps have declared themselves ready for Chang. And 2, if a significant or that kind of proportion of dApps had, that we were confident that we would have teased out any bugs that were introduced in the last couple of versions. Bearing in mind that a lot of the Chang functionality has been available since 8.8, 8.9, and on SanchoNet and other places. So there were the three factors, and I do appreciate that it's especially for the dApps and sort of downstream tooling, there are unknown impacts. It's a very diverse and intricate society that we can't begin to comprehend. But we had a feeling, we did a lot of research, we did more reach out to the community and dApps than we ever have for any other hard fork. And the feeling was really positive. And we have taken on board feedback from those where it's not been so positive. And we have already started conversations with the interim constitutional committee, who will be leading the next hard fork, to make sure that we hand over any lessons learned and pass on sort of valuable insights and ways of working to make the next hard fork even better and even more inclusive than this one. Hopefully
Yes.
that answers the questions.
We'll see. If there are gonna be more questions, then probably not. But moving on to the next section, committee and board seat elections.
Hi, let me just switch on my camera so you can see me. Hi, so my name is Karen. I'm the committee liaison and I'm leading on the elections for the committee and board seats as part of the voting that will take place in October. So I just wanted to provide a very brief overview, but we do have a number of community engagement sessions which are taking place. So I'd encourage anyone to join one of those. We're also recording them, so if you prefer to watch them in your own time, then please feel free to pop across to our knowledge base where you can find those. So the next of our community engagement sessions is going to be held tomorrow, so the 30th of August at 10 AM GMT. I'd love to see some new faces there, and please come along and ask any questions that you may have about the approach and process that we're going to follow. Once we've concluded the engagement events on the process and approach that we're going to take, we are going to continue to run a series of question and answer sessions throughout September and October where you can just drop in and ask questions. We also have an open Discord channel where, again, you can just pop in and ask any questions that you have. To support this, we're also going to be arranging a number of open office type events across a few different platforms for committees to open their doors and community members to ask them any questions that they may have of the committees also. So just moving on to eligibility, this is one of the key factors that we just need to make sure the community members are aware of, and that's the eligibility to participate in these. So we need to just note that to be able to apply for a seat in a committee, you need to be either an individual or enterprise member or part of a CFAND organisation. To be able to vote, again, you need to be an individual or enterprise member. And the key thing here is that associates to Intersect are not eligible to stand in as standers for a committee seat or vote in this or any part of the AMM election. So that's the key thing, is we want to ensure that our associate community members have every opportunity to upgrade their membership should they so wish to participate in this process. That's just one thing to sort of have in mind. So a little bit more about the application. So the application portal is currently being tested, and that will go live to the community on the 9th of September through the member portal. And it will be open through to the 27th of September. So if you're not currently an individual or enterprise member or belong to a seed-founding organisation, you'll need to upgrade your membership before the 27th of September, should you want to participate in applying for a seat on a committee. In regards to voting, so if you want to partake in the voting, you'll have to ensure that you're an individual or enterprise member by the 30th of September. That'll be the cut-off date. And the voting will open on the 4th of October. and close on the 17th of October. The date is fine, just to be confirmed in regards to when the elected candidates will be announced, but it will be part of the Cardano Forum event in Dubai at the end of October. I see some comments about acronyms. Apologies again for that. I will make a note to take those out for future presentations. That's everything from me. Thank you.
Okay. Next one, we are going to move to committees. And this one will be Membership and Community Committee by Nori.
All right. My name is Nori Nishigaya. I'm the co-chair along with Mark Byers of the Membership and Community Committee. Currently, the focus of the committee as a whole is really we're narrowing down onto the AMM and the elections coming up in October. Half of the seats on the MCC will be up for election, so we'll be voting in 5 new members. And then in April, we will have the second election and the full committee will cycle through. We currently have 4 working groups. We have the AMM working group head up by Utah and the local hubs to make sure the AMMs are continuing to deliver high value for all of our members. We have a grants working group head up by Katerina, who are working on making sure we're looking at the effectiveness of the grants program, looking at it overall and seeing how it went for the first round of grants and how we can improve it for the next year. Community support working group headed up by Laura, and this is really to support the community in different ways. Some of the focus has been around the Discord reorganization. There has been some initiatives around a code of conduct and other things like that. Then the last working group is the group design working group with Matthew. And that one is really looking at process and lifecycle stuff around SIGs working groups and things like that. And the MCC has just minted 4 new SIGs. And these were submitted by the community as special interest groups that people wanted to have set up. So we have I don't know if we're going to give links to the slides, but that link is a link to a GitHub project where we show the different life cycle of the different SIGs that have applied under the MCC. So you can see applied, approved, Discord set up, and different things. So we have kind of a life cycle flow going there. And then, of course, we're setting up our Gitbook. We're a little bit administratively behind getting that set up. A little bit of a manpower and a time issue, but we're getting there. So our hope is to get all of the meeting minutes up on our Gitbook, and then the meeting recordings and all that will happen soon. And all of that exists. It just needs to be put up into the Gitbook. And then to back up, I guess, to the beginning, I should state that the Membership and Community Committee's purpose is really to champion member value within Intersect. And we're also, the community side of things is really looking at how can we support the community. And we're kind of exploring what that means versus membership as well. So I think there's still some definition work to be done around this to understand community versus members. But yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out at any time. And Tevo has put some of the links in chat. You can see the SIG map at the top. And there is a link if you want to set up a special interest group. There's a sign up form, and that'll allow you to fire one up, and then you can get your own Discord channel. And it's a very loose structure. We want SIGs to be easy to set up, easy to start, and really based around community interest around what you want to talk about. Yeah. That's the MCC.
Yeah, looks like we're gonna have a lot of SIGs because every committee seems to be making new ones. So that's good because there is a lot of this to discuss when we talk about governance. And yeah, about slides, I think after we're done here, I will drop them in. Next up, Open Source Committee by Tex.
All right, thanks so much. So yes, everyone, I am Tex. I'm the Open Source Program Manager here at Intersect. I also am the Secretary for the Open Source Committee. The Open Source Committee, if you're not aware, is basically directing or overseeing everything that we do for open source through the Open Source Office. So there's a very tight relationship between the two of us here. But the open source committee has been open since last year in August. And as we were still in that, or as all the committees were still in their interim phases, we had not yet filled out all of our seats during the first year. So what we are doing now is we are backfilling our empty seats. We've already collected candidacy. Those candidates will have their opportunities over a couple of different sessions that are going to be posted on the Discord, or rather they are in the Intersect events calendar there. So you're more than welcome to join to find out more about the candidates. The voting we are very excited about is opening tomorrow, August the 30th. That is going to be somewhat of a two-part process. There's a registration that you'll need to complete first, but after you're registered, you should be able to vote. The votes will run until the 13th of September. So if you choose to register, but then go back after you found out more about the candidates, you do have some time. Now, the details, we did anticipate those going out by email, but it looks like those will be presented in the Discord. So keep attention to the announcements channel there sometime overnight or into tomorrow as we post those details. That will include ways to contact us. So you can always, of course, reach out to me at tex-oso on Discord, or our emails, as well as our Gitbook, which I'm linking here now, are all going to be accessible for you to review the voting policy, information about the candidates, and more. That's it for Open Source Committee there.
Thank you. Then let's move to the next one, Cardano Civics Committee from Daniele.
Hello, for those of you who don't know me, I am Danielle. I am the secretary for the Cardano Civics Committee. The Cardano Civics Committee started up last October, I believe, and we're running with about 9 seats for the election. So out of the 9 seats, that means half of them are up for re-election in October. So this is more of kind of a status update of what the committee has been up to. We have launched a series of constitutional workshops, which are hosted by community members. So that was facilitated through the Intersect Grants program. We have over 60 community members who've earned grants to run these workshops. And these workshops are designed to answer about 25 open questions on the draft constitution. So part of our work earlier this year was ensuring that there was an interim constitution in place for the Chang hard fork. So that is integrated into the Genesis file. And now there's a draft version that iterates and plugs in some holes that were existing in the interim constitution. So the interim constitution was intentionally minimalist and was lacking some details that we now fill in with the community in consultation throughout the summer. So each of these workshops has a time to address about 5 questions. The workshop materials I'm providing here include the draft constitution. So if anybody's interested, this is the link. Could I ask if somebody who's helping to moderate reposts these links? Because I'm not sure how the participants would otherwise click on them. So the draft constitution is available for anybody who would like to read it. Especially, we encourage people who are participating in these workshops to do that before they attend. New update, the open form is no longer coming soon. It is available with all 25 questions. So whether or not you participate in a workshop, you have the opportunity to answer all of the questions around the draft constitution and provide that via a feedback form. This is also great for people who don't have a workshop quite close enough to them or cannot make their local workshop. Gives you an opportunity to still provide your input on the draft constitution. So please do look at that if you're interested in having your say. And then finally, we want to then, in each of these workshops, the attendees get to elect a constitutional delegate and a traveling alternate. These are the people who are going to the Constitutional Convention, which will be held in the first week of December. And so Intersect will announce those elected delegates and alternates as those workshops conclude and as the elections are certified. So the Civics Committee is reviewing to make sure the elections were run accurately following the documented process. And so Intersect will then therefore announce. So we're working on getting a knowledge base page up to host that information. So you can go there to find also your local delegate or alternate to get in touch. Finally, then, call to action. If you're interested, please register for your local constitutional workshop. We have the big link here. We're using a Luma page to show all of the workshops happening around the world. You can go here, you can search by date, location, map, country. There's over 60 of them, so we do hope that most people have an opportunity to find one if they're interested. And this is all the work or result of the work of the Cardano Civics Committee. So we have been doing quite a bit this year, and it's been very exciting. And seeing all of the participation so far, I think about 10 workshops have already concluded. So we are well underway. Thank you.
Thank you for the updates. And yeah, about links, everything that is shared in slide will be shared in chat. And if you are looking aftermath from the YouTube, and in the description, you will find meeting summaries and link to the slides and all the related documentation. And now moving to the budget committee updates. That would be done by Lloyd. I'll just show the slides. Is Lloyd here? And is AI joined, but I'm not sure how to trigger it. Hello, Lloyd.
If Lloyd isn't here, maybe Laurent's going to give an update if he's here.
Sorry.
Yeah, hi,
Lloyd,
I can give a quick update. So, I can cover for Lloyd. So hi, I'm Lawrence Clark. I'm the secretary for the budget committee. I'm working alongside Lloyd and Steve on the budget. So the budget committee is being set up at the moment with a small group of individuals looking to define the Cardano budget for 2025. So we are working through a definition of what's called a bucket at the moment, and list out, I think there's 5 buckets we're using, which is going to be set up for anyone in the community, not just the members, anyone in the community to gain access to funds which are drawn from the Treasury. So, for example, we will have a bucket called community grants. That bucket will be a fixed amount on ADA for 2025, and anyone within the community will be able to put a proposal through for access to that. And that includes the Catalyst. And Catalyst obviously is the primary applicant for the grants process. So the committee's there, it's up and running at the moment. We do have space on the public website for you to see our terms of reference. And we have published our version 0.01 of the process. So this very much is in collaboration with a number of members. It's a straw man, and it fits alongside the constitutional process. For awareness, the committees that you're seeing here today will all be providing the budget committee with a proposed cost of what they would like for 2025. The budget committee will be working with the SMEs and individuals to define priorities and create a cost for each area. And it will be the budget's responsibility to maintain the budgets going into next year. So think of them as the CFO function for that area. So we will be raising the budget requests via the constitutional process. So we'll be working closely with the team and the DREPs, etc., to gain all approvals required for any of the requests we put through. So Intersect will be funding them through the constitutional on behalf of the community. Any questions?
Looks like right now it's fine. And if there is, chat is open for that. This will conclude all the updates from the committee's work group 6. There is a lot of plenty, as you can see, many things that, and many groups that hasn't had a slide deck, but most likely we have a lot of updates to share. So if you want to get your insights into Intersect Town Hall, please share us updates in the Intersect Town Hall channel or make us a slide deck. Now let's move to the Intersect staff team updates. And there will be 3 different topics, and perhaps Jack or Nick want to take it away.
Yeah, hi guys, I can jump in on the AMM. So I think some of you may have sort of caught wind that we are planning to do an AMM originally, sorry, it was going to be in Tokyo in October. However, we're excited to say that we're changing it not to be just one event, but multiple events across multiple different regions led by our community hubs. So it's a much more bigger, but also smaller at the same time, because we're going to do multiple AMM events. So let me just sort of define what an annual members meeting is. Partly it's a legal responsibility. Intersect is a not-for-profit member-based organization established in Wyoming. It was incorporated on the 8th of December in 2023, and we have to have had an annual members meeting. Like all member-based organizations in a similar structure, we have to hold at least one of them per year. Naturally, it's annual, and we have to do so by the 8th of December. So we're, instead of having one, as I said, we're going to do, how many here? We've got 7, but including a virtual one. There's a special town hall in October. And really the annual members meetings are a chance for all of us to get together as members to look back at what's worked really well in the first year of Intersect, what we know we'd like to change and improve and make better for next year. We've still got a lot of work to do to make Intersect a really effective organization. There's been so much good work that's happened, so I'm really proud of and very humbled by everyone's efforts to date. It's not been easy to get us here, and members have done this work. So big thank you from me to the members that have helped us get here. And it's a chance together in October to talk about this. And it also links to the elections that Karen mentioned earlier. So we're going to have the committee elections open up during October. So the voting will be happening from the 4th of October to the 18th. And it's all online voting. So joining an event in person is not required to vote, just to be super clear. All members will have the opportunity to vote via the members area when they log in. And we'll also be sort of talking about who's candidates for elections at these events, along with discussing the sort of future stuff about Intersect. As I talked about, you know, Intersect's purpose really here is to build a product function for Cardano. What technical features do we want to see on the core infrastructure, but also how do we want to utilize the Cardano treasury in 2025 and beyond for things like core infrastructure development, but also innovation such as Catalyst, marketing, and a bunch of other initiatives that Lawrence talked about previously with the budget committee. That's all feeding into some of the discussions and feedback that we want members to be discussing and talking about to make sure that everything that we're doing here is community and member led. So this is all part of the content that we're going to be doing through the annual members meetings in October. So there will be Luma links. So you'll be able to RSVP for these events. It is members only, so it's quite important to say that if you're a paid member of Intersect, you are eligible to attend. There will be some capacity. Obviously, it will get to a point where the venue in Tokyo, for example, can't have any more people, but there will always be options to join the special virtual town hall on the 8th of October for those that are not in those regions or able to get to it. I think that was the summary for annual members meeting. We are putting out the links. I'm trying to get that already now, actually. So hopefully by the end of today, we'll have a bit of a blog and update and a brand new sort of pet area on the knowledge base that talks about the annual members meeting so that you can get involved and attend or just bookmark the calendar. Nick, was there anything else you wanted to add to this?
No, I think you've covered everything there. Each of those is linked to a Luma page for invites already. So those links should be available to everybody.
Great. Thank you. Thanks, Tivo.
And I assume next.
Allow me to do a correction there for the recording. Is that the Japan event is on the 3rd, not on the 4th. It was clarified on the chat, but for the recording, it's on the 3rd, Thursday 3rd.
Perfect. Thank you, Tivo. So my name is Nick Cook. I'm responsible for membership and community hubs, and we talk quite a bit about community hubs at Intersect and also outwardly with the community. It's becoming a growing thing for us. So I wanted to talk today just a little bit about what a hub is, why we have community hubs, and what they're actually doing for us. So effectively, a community hub is, you could say, a group, a club, set up regionally by community members and supported by Intersect through our grant funding process. And we've set these up for a number of reasons, mainly to engage both our current members and those in the Cardano community and the ecosystem, and to drive further engagement with people who are either interested or not currently within the Cardano ecosystem or the Intersect fold from everywhere around the world, essentially. Also to foster participation and collaboration, which are really important to us in terms of community members and our ecosystem partners, to drive people to work together, to find out what's going on within the ecosystem, within Intersect, to join in, to take part, to learn, and actively gain some knowledge. So we're also looking to provide localized education and learning content in some regions. Obviously, we have community hubs in a number of places, and each of the needs of the communities in those places is very different. So what a community hub actually does on the ground is very different by location and the needs and wants of its localized community, so that we're customizing almost our approach and what those local individuals need and that community wants by its actual location. So how do the hubs do this? Well, effectively, we leave that down to them to tell us what they feel is going to be most effective in their region in terms of communications, cutting through, connecting with people. So that could be running localized events and meetups. It could be attending industry-based events and representing Intersect. It could be online events, X spaces, regional town halls, running events, including both DREP and constitutional workshops, which all of our hubs are doing this year, and providing access and learning platforms. Also leveraging the resources of the Intersect team. So we're able to support a number of these hubs in running activities, in helping to set up events and provide general resource to help with those. Currently, we have 4 hubs, one in Japan, one in Sri Lanka, one in LATAM, and one in Sub-Saharan Africa. If we can go to the next slide. Perfect, thank you. And what's really interesting for those hubs is how they're impacting what we're doing in terms of people getting involved and people actually joining as members of Intersect. So these are our current membership statistics. So we've got just shy of 3,000 people who have shown an interest in joining and being part of Intersect. Over 2,000 of those have actually become associates, which means they get our weekly development report and other letters and newsletters and information that comes out to them. We're currently sitting today at over 800 members, which is pretty impressive considering we only launched our membership drive at the very last days of May, and 27 enterprise members, and our membership for enterprise only opened maybe 4 weeks ago. So from our number of community hubs of 4, which is soon to be 6, because we're launching one in North America out of Chicago and another one in Europe out of Portugal, 41% of our current membership base has been generated through those hubs and linked to those hubs. So an amazing success for us. And 31% of our overall membership base has been delivered through our Japanese hub, which again is a huge success in what is quite culturally a quiet community for us. And 35% of associates have been delivered via Intersect hubs as well. So I think, you know, we're very proud of the hubs that we've set up, launched, and are building, and they're really starting to now to deliver a huge amount of value in bringing people together, in getting people to collaborate, participate, and really get involved in what's going on in Intersect and the wider ecosystem. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And the next slide is Cardano Community Survey. Tex, would you like to
hey,
share?
everybody. Yeah, no problem. It's Tex once again. I am presenting on behalf of our team that manages DREPs here at Intersect. So they have a community survey that is out there as of now. You can access that here through the QR code. And the goal here, of course, as you can see, is to capture a snapshot of the current state of DREPs across the Cardano community, find out where they're located, what are their main motivations, and help identify any barriers or gaps that may prevent others from becoming those DREPs. So we absolutely want you to share your thoughts so we can get that back to the team and increase this process, as we do want this to be here for you, the community. We do desire any and every bit of input that you have. Thanks.
Very cool. Thank you. And now we're getting almost at the end. But before we move to the next step, as we have, of course, new members joined, and we had a polling going on. So I think it's now time to close it. Last time we made a small mistake when I shared results. It looks like actually it is not shared. So what I will try to do this time is make a picture of that and share screen again on my entire screen. And so that also the people who are watching Aftermath can see how the people answer on which words do you think are the most misunderstood or misused in Intersect. And so take that information as it will. Looks like governance is the main one that people are misusing, and the next one would be decentralized. Close that. In the Zoom, everybody can see the slides, but now moving to the connect and integrate part. And so last time, if you remember, we have tried to do this several times now, and last time the feedback was that there should be more guiding material on the slide itself. And so initially what's going to happen is we're going to create 3 people groups. So for right now, we have around nearly 40 people. So there's going to be about 13 breakout rooms. Each group will automatically assign to their own breakout room. So you don't have to do on yourself, like you don't have to select yourself the room, although there might be a button that asks you to join a room. Each person will have about 2 minutes to share something meaningful about themselves. And this can be anything about who are you, what do you do in Intersect, why are you here? And this is a way to kind of get to know each other. Or if you have some tasty rumor to share or some announcement that was not shared in the town hall, that's also an opportunity. After 7 minutes, we join back to the main room and orient ourselves to the after town hall session. And our process takes about 3 minutes just here explaining, 7 minutes the rooms, and 2 minutes orienting back. So let me create the breakout rooms. If there is any questions, something you want to share, meanwhile, it's an open mic.
Would you have a quick preview of the after town hall?
After we join back from the breakout rooms, would that work? Or you could share hints in the breakout room themselves. That would that work?
Looking forward to seeing people afterward.
Okay, and then how many rooms that would be? 14, 20. Let's create 13 rooms. And there may be situations where some people are not actually being able to be present. So then we will manually assign people to different rooms. Actually, I'm going to turn it into 12 rooms. So it's make sure that at least there is 4 is fine. Okay, I'm going to create the rooms now. It shows me quite a nice list. I'm going to open all the rooms. Everybody should have now access to join in the room. For now, it shows quite well. Give it join a room, give it a 1 minute max. And from my side, I should be able to see who is alone and who is not. See quite a lot of people in the main room still. And I see new people joining. Hello. And there should be a pop-up window that asks you to join a room. If it is not a pop-up, on the below you have buttons for breakout rooms and then join a breakout room so that those who are in these rooms are not there alone and you have an opportunity to share a bit about yourself. Who are you? Why are you here? What you do in Intersect? Okay, I'm gonna start moving people, and because looks like not everybody is going to be in the breakout room. Hello, Pantelis. It's unfortunate I cannot see the main room in here.
I've come back to the main room. I didn't have anyone in breakout room 5.
Okay, yes, nice. I will put you into a room. Let's see. Okay, I need to use this tool. Zoom has changed a little.
Oh, no problem.
Pante. Up the list. Move to room. Yeah, now I can't see room. Okay, I'm gonna just throw you in room 11. Let's hope there are people.
All right, cool. Thanks, my man.
Yeah, Zoom right now shows a lot of people are in main room, but I'm not able to kind of throw you away unless I know by name where you should be. So does this mean that all of you here, and Lawrence, Afik, Stefan, Quasar, Lara, Aaron, Prefine, Selmon, Tex, and Alex, you're not actually able to talk with other people? Okay, now I see that those who are not joined, I can one. And some registered. Yeah. Okay, he's in the room. Yeah, just speak up if you are here and you're not an introvert and able to speak. Right now, it looks like everybody has somebody to talk to, but most rooms are 2 people. I think it's fine. Then people can have also discuss on that. Let me check now. Clock 6 minutes. Yeah, in 1 minute I will start calling people back. Yeah, thank you for the answers. And for those who are looking in YouTube, probably this will be deleted section unless somebody has something amazing to share. I just realized every time we start that town hall, I've never introduced myself. So I am Teo. I'm running, I'm one of the members in Intersect Town Hall team. We got grant funding, and I try to do most at the project management side and keeping the documentation coordinated between different members, both in Intersect and those who are joining and are new. Let me start closing the breakout rooms. Now everybody has 60 seconds to join back. Hello, back. People are starting to trickle in. Once again, quick insight, about 9 people were not able to talk. And so we had to do some room changing. So if you had somebody popping in, then you know that was me throwing people around so that they had somebody to talk to. And while the rooms are closing in 9 seconds, Nick, Nori, how did your discussion went?
It was a good catch up because Nori and I know each other, so it was nice to have a bit of one-on-one time, which we don't usually get. So nice.
Yeah. Ditto. It was nice just to have some space to catch up.
that was cool. And sorry that I was late, guys. I actually had a meeting that was till 12:30 and then it ran over about 15 extra minutes. So I apologize for being late.
Yeah, it's okay, Lloyd. Lawrence covered your bit anyway, so it was okay.
Glad he was here. Thank you, Lawrence.
Thank you. Yeah, we don't know. Were you also thrown in a room, and how did everybody feel about these kinds of small experiment? From an administrator side, it is a bit sometimes challenging because this time around 9 people wasn't able to join the rooms or discuss. So there were people in rooms again alone. So I was throwing people around. Some people maybe had new people joining in as they noticed. But from the participant side, how did you feel about these small breakout rooms and having a chat with other people on anything?
Yeah, it's nice, Tivo, just to be thrown into a room, so you never know what you're going to get. Yeah, I knew who I was speaking to, so it was fine. It wasn't no anxiety, but it's good.
Yeah, it was very useful. It was actually somebody that I needed to talk to anyway, so it ended up being actually quite productive.
It's good to meet new people.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was good. Just maybe if I got moved around for a few empty rooms, it might be easier to do smaller rooms, fewer rooms with bigger groups, and people can just feed through and introduce more people faster. But I met a fellow South African, which was pretty cool. Hello, Bernard.
I think it was really good, and it should be longer because you don't really get a chance to know someone in 5 minutes, and we should do it all the time because it's talking to a wall of people on your screen. It's never really get to know anybody, even people you work with, like a lot of their familiar faces. I know nothing about them.
Yeah, I would just to add into that, like the having fewer rooms, like 7, it was just me and one other person, and we had 7 minutes, and I feel like we didn't even get to really talk about hardly anything. So I don't know, just multiple voices, but yeah, I like the rooms, is what I'm trying to say.
Interesting. That is, does anybody have some negative side of that? What on this experiment? Because we have had some anonymous feedback, and that these things are not good in these calls.
I don't think you can be anonymous in governance. I think maybe Hosky's the only one who gets away with that, but that's because he's also not really anonymous. Like a lot of people know who he is, so
Good point. I mean, I just think it should be longer, and they should maybe do it as a kind of like a regular thing. Just have a 5-10 minute meeting. You can always leave the room if you really don't want to talk. But we're used to this stuff, aren't we? We're used to this screen stuff.
Good. Glad that you liked it. Then hopefully we get to do that again next month and extend a bit of time. Add minimum 4 people in the room so that there is a higher chance that there are going to be more people to chat with. And right now I'm going to open up a new breakout rooms. Oh yeah, I'm not sharing screen too. So one thing on that, if you found something or somebody that was very interesting to talk to, there will be open rooms where you can just catch up, send them a direct message, and discuss with them. Moving now to the after town halls, and we had quite a tensionless week and actually entire month. And this was also one of the vacation months for us. So there was something on framework that failed, and that caused even more misinformation and confusion in how the town halls are run. And this has gotten quite difficult. So I would like to invite everybody to this what's wrong with town hall breakout room. I will open up the breakout room now, and also I opened up 2 open rooms, so that if you have somebody to this chit chat with something, open topic, you can do so. If you have a topic that you would want to propose to somebody else, this would be the time to do it right now, and then we can rename the rooms. But in future, as we showed previously, there is an after town hall slide. You can submit them, then it's all planned beforehand, and everybody is aware what's coming in these town halls. Any questions? Shall we jump into it? The breakout rooms are open, so you will be able to join the rooms. If you don't know how to join a breakout room, so this time you have to select it yourself. So on the bottom half, you have the option either breakout rooms, or if you don't have the icon, then under more selection, you have a bird called breakout rooms. If you open up, it opens a panel where you have see 3 rooms, and you can click join to enter that room. I will be going to that room also shortly, just making sure in here that everybody knows what to do. And the breakout room will be recorded, so if you are not able to stay tuned, then you can watch it later from Swarm YouTube. For those who are joining here or staying here, do you have any questions for Intersect Town Hall or about the breakout room or anything about Intersect?
I'm not 100% sure what to do, but I guess I'm used to open source stuff in general. Should I guess join the breakout room, or I'm not actually sure enough how to use Zoom to find it.
So in the bottom you have icons. If there is not the word breakout rooms, then usually the last icon is more or 3 dots. If you open it up, it has a list of stuff, and when you start from the list at the top, there is a breakout rooms. It should open up a panel, and the panel has a list of names and join button next to the name.
Okay, so I just go there for the rest of the meeting, or?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be there. Cheers.
Stefan or Vani, are we going to that room?
I mean,
Yeah, I
maybe
can.
one of us should stay here just in case of any lost people. I don't mind doing that.
Cool.
Then takes these people out and see in the room.
Now, the comments from people were that this event had been a lot better today, and actually they felt there was a tipping point where, at the moment, to get a bit more participation and get people attending, some of the Intersect team probably do need to present some of those things around committees and other topics and things that are going on at the moment, until we start maybe building up a bit more of an audience from the community who are then willing to participate and present their own things, and which we can start ramping it back then. So I think there's that tipping point where we probably will have to present a certain amount of things monthly until we can ramp it back and move aside.
I love the accountability and transparency of the committees having something to say without the dynamic where Intersect is the only ones who can say what the agenda will be.
Absolutely.
That distinction against the Catalyst town halls is palpable. Not being able to influence the agenda in any way, shape, or form totally sucks, in my opinion. Here we are on record again.
Can I jump in here?
Please do.
This is kind of echoing stuff that I'm dealing with in work at the moment. Is essentially you kind of these gatherings are kind of like they're like discovery workshops in actual fact, and the whole thing is we're actually meant to be promoting diversity of thought with the hope of achieving something. So there does need to be some guidance on an agenda. It might be what we're trying to solve, or for a context of that one, because everyone's going to bring a theme or experience level to a topic. So it would be nice to know, hey, this one I think I can add value to. I'm going to make sure I'll be at this one. If it's very general, not everyone might set the time. I mean, for me, it's 1 o'clock in the morning here. I'm not, I'm wanting to learn. I want to know how to be more involved. I care about where Intersect and what Cardano can do for the future. But I don't necessarily, this is just a side hustle hobby. It's not more than that. But I mean, I want to participate. So if you run it as such, where it's actually creating a safe space where people can share ideas and thoughts, and with the hope of maybe getting people to unpack the how, and then try and leave a meeting with maybe 1 or 2 action points that people can go and explore, and then that forms the basis of the start of the next discussion. Okay, cool. Well, on the last meeting, we thought about this, and I don't know, it might create some continuity. I get excited to come back for the next meeting, finish that conversation, or yeah, there's and there's different tools for that. I mean, there are actually literally practical tools that we could just literally take out of any business management book to run it, and get people involved, and communicating.
Right on. And we can take some positive lessons from what Catalyst town halls have done too, right? Like having there's a knowable agenda at the town hall, right? You know that you're going to get some kind of information about what's going on at Catalyst. You know you're going to get some projects that have closed out, and you're going to learn about some projects that have closed out, and you're going to have usually a second presentation from the Catalyst team or somebody that they feel is important. Then you're going to have your after town halls where everybody can, that's a little bit more open, and you could have freedom. One of the other things that they did, to Pantelis' point, like he's here at 1 a.m. They did over time develop an Eastern town hall, a Pacific town hall, so that they have at least a few, hopefully maybe 3, we could probably work out to where people can join in, so that is in a time frame that's useful to them. I mean, obviously we're still building, so there's just opportunities for growth, and that's one of those opportunities for growth that we could really do. I think having a time set aside for committees to be able to present to the community and hear feedback from the community is huge. I'm so sorry that I couldn't make it today. I felt so bad. I was like, I can't interrupt this call, but I need to get over there. And of course I missed it. So I'm sorry I didn't get to hear it today, but I'll be back next month, and for whatever we can for the budget committee for next month. And thanks, Lawrence was there to in my stead to take care of it. So that was really awesome. And again, that's the other great thing. Like, these committees are not just one person. So if I can't make it and Lawrence can, then one or another of us can actually stand up in that moment and help. So I think that not just copying Project Catalyst town halls, but taking good lessons from Project Catalyst town halls, making sure we can accommodate our friends who are not in these time zones. And then having that idea of being able to continue the conversation week after week or month after month rather, is super important.
If I can jump in on something super fast, is so I'm working to become a D-Rep, and basically my I'll say this, the Intersect Discord is very confusing. There's like so many different channels. I had no idea where to start. And I think part of that's just I'm a new member and just have to work through it. I think part of the reason I wanted to come to the town hall today was try and organize it. And I think it makes sense. You have the special interest groups and the breakout groups and all that stuff. So it makes sense the way that it's sort of structured that way. But in terms of like organizing, because I understand the DREPs and Intersect, they're different. They're like basically different bodies. But I do think that there needs to be some sort of cross communication. Like I kind of see it like the way that the United States works. You have the executive branch, the judicial branch, and the legislative. They all are independent, but they all have some sort of like interconnectedness. So in terms of the town hall, I guess it's just a little bit more like clarity around like, okay, what does the web look like? Like what is the organization? How is it structured? I think there just needs to be more emphasis on that. Because I come into the town hall, and to keep this town hall related, it's like, okay, here's one speaker talking about this, and then another speaker talking about this, and then another speaker talking about this, and another speaker talking about this. And then it's like, then it kind of feels like the Discord again, where it's like there's just 50 channels and I have no idea where to start or where to go or where to ask questions or where to do anything. So yeah, that map looks like pretty helpful, but that's all I had to say. Thank you.
So if I may jump in here for a moment, I've got a few responses just to those two directly here. So one is that we are well aware of the state of the Discord currently, and we are actively working on a resolution. We do expect to have one by the time that we begin having or complete having all of our AMM meetings, is what I've understood. Aside from that, and this is not to put a responsibility on anybody in particular, but I myself, as well as a few others of Intersect, I feel have made ourselves pretty available as far as being there and present in multiple channels throughout the Discord. So at any time, I don't think there's an issue with saying our DMs are always open. So please always feel free to provide that feedback. And that leads into the other side of things. I would definitely want to say on behalf of Intersect, I don't think that we want the only feedback for Intersect or the town hall specifically to only have to come through the town halls themselves. We encourage all of our communication channels to be open for any level of feedback that you have, because there are a number of us, or really any of us, can get that feedback to the right place and even get you a direct response as needed. So you're always welcome to leave that feedback anonymously or directly reach to one of us so that we can provide a direct answer back to you. So just two pieces.
Thank you.
Yeah, Daniel, you actually put quite a good, because the first time I also joined, I shared in the chat that it was unclear the ecosystem and who to reach out. And this actually, I would say, was this month's biggest theme. Where we initially started like, okay, we have now this Discord channel, we got it set up in first month. Second month, we got like, okay, we need to start outreaching ourselves, pulling information. And this month we got more feedback from Intersect staff team. Probably they aggregated some feedback, and that our communication lines are totally like broken. There isn't key people. And even this town hall, even there you see a lot of content was appeared. I sent out different emails to different committee members and committee, like the public channels, all the Discord channels, and none of the feedback actually or the content came from these channels, and everything was directed to Intersect staff members. And this is like another thing where those who have been here already and who are running the town halls kind of take the space, and people are used to sending stuff to them. So even if I get emails, say, I sent to that member the slides, I never actually got direct slides. And today I saw first time like contribution back and forth where it was in Discord and text was also active at the same time. So the information was flowing just today. But when we started this whole thing was the 1st of August, when the first agenda structure was shared, and what we are expecting, slides were already introduced last month. So I guess this is also a thing that takes time to kind of know where is the truth of information, and something that was mentioned in the community problem board. Another person mentioned about that we need a single truth or somewhere to go. And right now it's again unclear where it's it. When I joined, I assumed Discord is end or be all because that was the main communication escape. I don't use Twitter on any of these other socials. So that's also maybe a downside from me. Maybe like there is a Twitter channels or something I have to be up to date and use that to get information. or maybe direct people. For example, I wasn't sending any news to Lloyd, but to the committee. So maybe also you are not looking at the emails there, and this information is trickling down, but it maybe trickles to agenda, but the agenda gets postponed to the next meeting. You have so much stuff to do, so it kind of always gets like, I don't know, somewhere else.
Yeah.
But what I
Exactly.
would
And
imagine
that's
town hall to be-
interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
Thibaut, that is very interesting, and because I want to honor what you were saying there. One of the things is that one of the things that I know from the committee level, what a lot of us are trying to do is get the Git books updated regularly. That's kind of like the drive right now. And so there is a push of information happening that way. All the committees that I know of, everybody that's on a committee that I know of is working on that direction. So a lot of push is happening to where we're getting the information, we're putting it out there, and we're publishing it so that it's available for everybody to see. And then I think the next step is going to be, it's going to be who's responsible for collating that and getting it to the town hall, right? Is it something that Swarm does, or is it something that we do and then bring to you guys? And I got to step away, guys, real quick.
Yeah, but I can answer that, because in the proposal, there wasn't really a space where we have to gather and aggregate and like format the content. And we didn't propose that also. So there is also this maybe a misalignment and understanding of expectations on that.
The joy of decentralized organizations, right? We're everybody has different expectations until we align on them. So, but that's good to know. That's why I really did like. I know a lot of information's been collated, a lot of it's being put out, and it just maybe isn't in the format that you guys had that was useful yet. But again, this idea of us gathering at the town hall and being given a space to share the information that we're already collating, that's pretty cool too. And you know, for me, I've gone ahead and signed up and subscribed to be in the town hall for the next several months, the rest of the ones that were available, to be here, so that we can do that every time, just a commitment to be a part of that. So, and I know I'm not the only one, so that's it's just kind of cool that we're finding a ground where it's going to be fertile, where we're going to work together.
Yeah, if it came across as a criticism, that definitely wasn't my intention. I also think that Discord is the best place to have the organization of members-based organization. And the only reason that I wanted to share what I shared was because if the objective of a decentralized governance is to have absolutely as many voices as possible, the barrier to entry to understanding how to get your voice heard, if that's enormous, people are going to join the Intersect Discord and be like, there's 100 pages in here, what the heck, I'm out. And to be honest, that was me. Like, I joined the Discord maybe a month or two ago, and didn't even know how to become a member, didn't know anything. I'm out. Like, I'll just go to the DREP workshop, let's see what happens there. And so in no way was it meant to be a criticism. I think Discord definitely is the best place to do it. And I think we're so early, it's still figuring itself out. So again, just in no way did I mean that as a criticism, just new guy here, want to share the experience I had. That's it. Thank you.
It's a super valid concern because it's the bane of my life and I have to use it every day. So I don't think you'll find anyone who will disagree with you at all on that. It is something that we are continually discussing and continually discussing what it should look like and how we can make it better. So these sorts of comments and input is super useful. Yeah, I mean, I think Discord as a tool it's a great tool, but it can be a runaway train really quick. So yes, we are reevaluating what that looks like.
Yeah, I'd just like to re-echo what you just said there. And the barriers to information is like, it's something that always comes back and back and back. And it's usually like the flood of information that comes down from Telegram or from Discord or whatever. And what really is needed that's where town halls can help. And also there's a kind of struggle with the town hall because you don't want the town hall to be talking to people, you know, dictating to people, and you want some, but it needs to be like concise, the platform where you go to find out your first bits of information. How do I get involved? What is Intersect? That kind of thing. That can seem repetitive to people who come along, but that needs to be there essentially every week or every month, sorry. And then also there needs to be tangible proof at the town hall, the Intersect town hall, that here are community members who are involved, who are running it or presenting content. And it's not just Intersect staff. Intersect staff are, if you like, providing essential updates, really. So I think your concerns are completely valid. They're constantly a struggle. So yeah, I'd agree with that.
Nico, Nicodemus, you have a hand up.
Yeah, thank you, Tevo. I appreciate you calling on me, and I've been learning a lot from this town hall here. I have a question. Do we have, or are we collecting user feedback in so much as like the onboarding obstacles or challenges that new users may face? Is there a repository floating around somewhere where they have access to that info?
That's a great question. So I think it depends on the onboarding issue. So if it's going through signing up on the website, there is like a feedback tab in the bottom right corner of the screen. So if there's any bugs or issues with the sign up process, there is a process to be able to fill out a form from that tab, and we do collect that data. Otherwise, if there's any other issues that you have, you can always report them to membership at intersectmbo.org for sure. And so we do collect that information.
Okay, is that the best place? And this not necessarily to like email complaints or issues, but just like if individuals find it, you know, maybe they have feedback on the organization of the Discord or have ideas or what have you. Would that be the best resource to use?
I would say so currently, yes. That does get collated, all of that information. And if it's related to an issue around sign up for something technical, it certainly goes into a ticket, a technical ticket, which gets fixed by the web team. So yes, we do collate that. The more feedback we get, the better, because as I mentioned earlier, we only exist as a team of people working at Intersect to serve the community. So if the community aren't happy and the community aren't getting what they need, we're kind of redundant. So the more feedback we get, the better, and the better we can make Intersect for you, the community and the membership base.
Great, thank you. And what was that email again? One more time, sir.
It's membership@intersectmbo.org.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
No problem.
And Nadia, you had your hand up.
Yeah. I guess I'm mostly just kind of used to more development kind of atmosphere, so I'm not sure exactly how I fit into anything, but I guess most of the other people I see hacking on at least the Haskell stuff are hanging out in like functional programming language things, like there's a functional programming Discord, and also a
Would it be a Discord server or a channel in Intersect?
Discord server, yeah.
Okay, anyway. Maybe you can share a link to the
sure.
chat, and then we can aggregate and share it.
Yeah, I'll give the invite momentarily.
Yeah, and I also shared myself a GitHub problem board. So if there are some problems we want, we will try to define them. Sometimes we also start to reaching out to other members. But the more I'm in here and doing town halls, the more I actually also know other work groups. So it will be easier for me also to aggregate that information. But yeah, no, you can go on.
Yeah, that's another thingy where I guess because we can, well, it's open source, we can just kind of look at the code and say, well, we ran into this bug, or want to change it to do some way or other. We can just code it ourselves. A lot of times we just kind of like send stuff up to maintainers of Git repositories, and will post on the post issues, or make forks and do pull requests and so on for their projects, and that's kind of another way we interact. And there's a matrix, I think, for Cabal. Let me see. I'll get that one too. Hang on. And there's IRC floating around too somewhere. Let me see how I.
Just wondering, how would that be related to the Intersect? Is that an example how to run a community and your example, or is it because of the Haskell and the language open source relations, like in a wider term?
Yeah, it's partly because of language, and also the various other IOI/Intersect employees are also on those channels as well, so not just me. So yeah.
So I'm happy to step up as a point of contact here for you. In the methods, well, there's a couple of different ways that you could go about this, right? First of which would be your membership of Intersect, whether through, let's say, an enterprise level or as a founding member. The second piece of that would be, once you are in the Intersect Discord, we have our developer experience working group, which is actually being supported by our developer advocates. That would definitely be a perfect place to work on the, let's say, the learning efforts or the education efforts with regards to Haskell. When it comes to something that's technical, let's say for those that know what they're doing, but they're just having issues with the programming, there would also be the opportunity for them to get with not only Intersect, but also the IOI team, specifically the maintainers on Core Cardano, to better understand those issues.
Yeah, maybe Tex, you could also share your socials to the Nadia. But bringing back to this town hall, what's wrong with town hall topic? I'm actually a visual person, so I would like to share a bit of my report and kind of give you an overview of what is the framework, and which was like one of the issues about town halls. Am I showing the correct screen? Yes, I am. So in general, to understand, I have windows here, which are yellow framed, which are basically meetings. We have 2 open public meetings every month, where we basically, the first week usually is about retrospective, about this town hall. Right now, we're kind of doing it already in this after town hall. And we use that to kind of change the framework agenda and the way who we invite, how do we invite, and all this kind of technical stuff. And on the second week, we usually also look into the problem boards. In both sessions, we also go through agenda items so that we already quite early have like the framework ready. Who are we going to invite? Which updates there is going to be? Who is going to present? Because the earliest we think we can do this, the better it will be to attract the audience to know what's going to happen in town hall and what to expect there. And in future, it will be like looking like at 2 weeks before town hall. You already know what's after town halls, who are being invited, because we see the vision, at least in Intersect and in Cardano. I see so many people. So having like a 300, 400 people town halls should be a feasible thing. But right now, to get there is a bit of a struggle and takes a bit of time on training. Of course, and then we have a stand-up call, where we can aggregate that information and put it into documentation. So we always have a town hall document. So everything is open source, and a lot of this is shared. So if you are a digger, you will find out all about tribes, all the emails, not emails per se, but some general information what we share. And yeah, and then now, as you can see on the bottom here, there are all the relevant links which lead to different resources we have. And what's coming next month is probably more work on the framework itself, like putting into one page. Right now, it's kind of aggregated into different things. We have GitHub where we assess the assignments, tasks. But we try to do it as open source and using GitHub, because most of other workshops are also using that and kind of show with the team, and also the schedule what's happening. So this August, we have a slightly different. There is much more private session with the Intersect staff team themselves. But going forward in future, I hope we can address most of the stuff in the public polls, similar to this one, and then have a few closing sessions just to kind of have a final review on the slide and everything. Today, we basically did that all in like the last minute. But probably it's always going to be a bit of last minute, but the more we can do beforehand, and the better it would be. All that. So I just kind of wanted to share it. Visually is what's happening. And if you're interested to shape the Intersect town halls, then please join us to the public work groups or in the channel. I always be looking there. You don't have to ping me. I will read every message. Yes, thanks.
Yeah, I'll jump in real quick. I just I thought I heard you say something about agendas being created either during or just after the town hall. And so I might suggest that you have some form of link that allows people to suggest agenda items for the town hall. But I don't see where we'd be able to, whether by the community or Intersect, immediately create an agenda item, whether realistic or even provisional, immediately after the current town hall. I think that's something that definitely takes some time to develop.
Yeah, of course. Like the first week usually is a retrospective and just looking over the general framework. Are we going to have a synopsis? Are we going to introduce the town hall again? Are we going to have committee members? Like this basic stuff. Usually we probably in the next month or in 2 months, we don't actually even go through this because we're going to get the framework itself more stabilized. But at the early stages, there was always kind of constant changes. Oh, we forgot about grant programs. Do they want to share anything, their updates? There is in the GitHub, there is a list of them. Some of them share updates, some of them don't. And like these kinds of ideas, what should be in these lots, which we just had, are discussed also in the work groups. And they are happening in first week, second week, and the rest of them are usually then asynchronous, with the exceptions this month where Intersect staff wanted to kind of be on top of everything and through live meetings. I hope I kind of clarified it. It's not like like right after this meeting, we don't have to choose agendas, but just to be aware that there is a structure, there is a plan. Yes, Daniel?
Just to re-echo what I wrote down in chat, I definitely agree with what Scott Dorsey said, that if we have like introductory meetings for new members, just to kind of help them orient themselves, like that might solve most of the problems. Just like, all right, there's a bunch of channels in the Discord, here's the different sections. And then it's also like just a quick introduction for new members to give feedback or new members to give ideas for how Intersect should be run. And then I was kind of joking, I hate to suggest yet another committee, but if there's like a committee dedicated towards onboarding new members or even people who are new in the community, I think that'd be great. Even if it's just, it doesn't even have to be meetings, especially to start. It can just like, here's a 15-minute video of understanding Intersect and how it's organized in the Discord and where you should start or whatever. For new members or new people who join the Discord, even if they're not members, just I wanted to put that into voice rather than just chat. So thank you.
Yeah. And the second, that in a sense that in Singularity Network, there is an onboarding work group, and that has been super effective, that there's a dedicated team who is thinking about how to onboard and creates new processes and different material to onboard. But right now, I guess the Discord one is hard because every week I see changes there. And then so probably it may need some time before it kind of solidifies. But yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, you're right, Tivo. You're definitely right. And actually, it's my area of responsibility, onboarding. So, and we know we've been quite remiss with that. We are currently working on trying to build some training videos, which will be available in the members area when people join, as a bit of an intro to what Intersect is, a bit of an intro on how to get involved, and some signposting to committees, working groups, and special interest groups. We haven't done one on Discord, but it has been muted. So again, feedback is really important for us, and that onboarding area is something that is definitely lacking, that we need to spend some more effort and energy on for sure.
I'm wondering what will be the next elegant steps for town halls? What is going to change from next month? Because from my perspective, to me, I'm not really changing that much. There are going to be public calls, but we have discussed that there is going to be, of course, one extra meeting of the review team. So after SWARM team looks over the stuff and aggregates all the slides together, all the agenda docs, there will be meeting with the Intersect staff team to also look over it and see where are gaps and how can they support. Other than that, what would be the next steps, what we can do and what you can do from your side? Who's worrying?
More proactive communication about the presence of the town hall working group, which happens multiple times a month, and more proactive announcements about the town hall monthly, I think would be impactful in terms of gaining engagement in the process that informs the town hall content, as well as engagement in the actual session that we did today. I had another comment about saying more about the ATH, but I'll just leave that for readers of the chat. Hi, Gemma.
Hello. Thanks, Randall. I agree with that. And as a step forward, what we have suggested is that in our Intersect development weekly updates, we could include the links to the different planning sessions or the town halls, so that people have that other area of information that they can go to and join the relevant meetings.
Nice. Thanks.
On that, there's a slight like feedback from SWARM members. When the newsletter was sent out, one link was missing and some sentences was changed grammatically incorrectly. So there is somebody who's changing them after they copy pasting it. And another thing which like about this town hall announcement itself and after town hall, Intersect Twitter doesn't retweet it, say that it was incorrectly like formatted, but I shared it 2 weeks ago and asked feedback twice, like is it okay? Is there any objections? And that's why I kind of went with what we had written before and shared it on the announcement channels we have collected. And this is also something maybe we should share with you, because it's an Excel sheet. There is all the lists and where I send it, and maybe that is something that could be updated, and I can do more from my side. And the third part on that, could a SWARM member or me get access to tag people? Because this is another thing which we tried last month, that hey, we were supposed to send every channel an update about the town halls, because so to get people's attention, but it would be much easier and less kind of messy and spammy if I would have actually able to tag everybody and then focus everybody to this specific channel instead of copy pasting the same message to all the channels. Because right now, when I analyzed it, I would have multiple messages from me and no other discussion, and that is also not a nice look when people join a Discord and they see one person sharing announcements and directing to other channel. Yeah.
I imagine we are happy to have this out here from a transparency perspective, although I would suggest that those particular points be held in a comms conversation between SWARM and Intersect so we can work out those details.
Yeah, I agree.
I think those are perfect pieces of material for a channel that's about the town halls. Maybe that's a slightly different take on what you said, Tex.
Absolutely, yeah. So the details in the background, but as far as the community support adding to that initiative, definitely an open forum where the community can comment on how they view that communication working. Absolutely.
I just think it's good to move it away from Discord as well. Discord, we've discussed, it's a complicated space. So I think having alternative places where you can reach the information about the town halls is super valuable.
I concur there. Probably I'm not a huge Discord fan, but to say that I don't use it at all. It's, to me, I've just find it too complicated. I'm still maybe a little bit old school. I like the websites, the emails, and face-to-face time.
Yeah, I'm not a Discord fan, I must say.
Yeah.
It's such an interesting product insight, tangentially.
Just wondering.
Listen, it is a different. So that's actually one of the things I wanted to get out of this. So like, don't come from a programming background, got a technical background understanding. I'm more of probably a value scraper, business side. Wanting to get involved as potentially as a D-rep and all that, but the impression is from the outside is that if I'm not technically sound, there's not really a space for me at this stage. But I don't know if that's the case, because when I read about it, they're saying they want more input from others.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that that's not the case. I am not hugely technical at all. And I think there's lots of places in Intersect, depending on your particular area of interest in terms of either working groups or committees, that there's a huge amount of conversation that isn't just technical. So a prime example is the membership and community committee. So they actually, the MCC, discuss things around membership, what that should look like, grants, grant funding, and all of that discussion around how that runs and how that should work for the community is done by the community in that forum. So there's nothing technical whatsoever about that. Obviously, you've got the civics committee. There's lots of different committees that are non-technical, I would say. And actually, some of them are purely non-technical, and some of them are probably gateway areas into technical. So again, I think that's down to us to better define our signposting when people join as to what's your areas of interest. Are they technical? Are they non-technical? Are they governance? And we can then possibly do something to steer people to the areas that might be of key interest to them.
Yeah.
So to suggest something super fast, the easiest way to do that is roles. So you assign roles. So basically you have in the Discord, come get your roles. And then every single role has its own little blurb. It's like, okay, if you want access to the subcommittees, get this role and you'll get access. If you want access to whatever town hall meetings, click this role. And so the Discord one, because the biggest thing is it's so overwhelming when it gets in. I think it's necessary that you have all these channels. I wasn't also trying to say you should get rid of channels, but I think when you're first coming in, it's like, all right, you have a general chat that just everyone accesses and new people can see, and then you maybe have an announce like no more than 10 different channels, because even at 10 it's still a lot. And then so that was what I was just going to say is you opt into these different roles, and then you can also, I agree that a lot of people don't like Discord, but I think a lot of the crypto communities in Discord, so I think Discord's necessary, but I think eventually also having a website where it's a similar sort of format so you can go either way. Anyways, so opt-in roles might be the best way to do that. So just wanted to say that.
I think the roles have to be general, because there was a feedback. This was discussed, I think, in first town hall workgroup, and that was mentioned that we have so many groups and roles basically that it's unfeasible to do that. But having like an area of just committees, because we don't have that many committees, so that might work. But not going like details that, hey, do we want to be Seek? Or like, else you have as many roles as you have channels. So there is that caveat, like not overkilling with roles, but being like more general. Technical, you get unlocked these committees.
So I definitely, yeah. So I didn't mean a role for every single channel, but definitely for like the different categories. So you have 4 channels under product community, you have 2 channels under parameters community, you have 20 channels under technical steering community. And I don't know what any of these things are. So you can have a role for basically that entire category of those channels. So basically you just have a quick paragraph. What is the technical steering community? And then if you want to opt into the technical steering community, you click that role and then you see the 20 channels pop up. And you're like, oh, never mind. or what that's, so I didn't mean it specific channel by channel, but from like each different category, maybe.
There's something there, like a top line, or just a top line differentiator. Essentially, there's two things you're trying to solve here. One side is newbie coming in, where do I start? And then advanced, how do you actually consistently participate?
Yeah, the question in chat, should Intersect Town Hall be placed to onboard? For example, again, from in SingleTernet, usually it is where all the new people are coming and like, hey, this is the first thing where you can learn about everything. And in Intersect, you can see that it seems to be we're always going to have a lot of work group updates, committers. So you're going to learn a bit of what everybody's doing. So that's one part of onboarding. But maybe that's also an early section could be about, hey, this is a Discord. This is how it's structured. Here you can see roles. These are general roles. Here is a knowledge base. Here, what is like, I wonder if that is something we want to bring, or should Intersect Town Hall be more like a business front where you share, okay, this is a video for all the town halls. So if you're not about reading the newsletters or the Twitters or other updates, this is where you can get the information. So where are expectations here about town hall? Should it encompass a lot of things, or it should be more like a marketing front for video creation?
So I would say for now, let's take it from like a business perspective. Right now, arguably the most important thing for Intersect right now is onboarding, because we're only a couple months into this. And so over the next couple of years, thousands, tens of thousands, potentially hundreds of thousands of people are going to be joining Intersect. And so the number one on-ramp needs to be like, this is how we do this. I think that if you do an onboarding section as part of the town hall, where at the end of the town hall meeting, I like the idea of, I forget who suggested it, that basically right after the town hall, you just go right into this. But I think something that you could do is maybe you have the town hall, this breakout group as one of the options, but then onboarding as a separate one. So then you break out into these 2 different things where you have onboarding. But I also think that for some people, town halls might be a bit intimidating to start. I think maybe you should even just have separate dedicated meetings for new members. Come join here, get, quick information on everything like that. And if that's like, part of when you first join the Discord, there's only 5 to 10 channels. And one of the channels is new member information or start here or something like that. And the biggest announcement there that's pinned is, or the only text that's there is, here are the schedule for new member video, new member, things like that. And then it's like
introduction, briefing, whatever. And then that's a separate meeting. And to be honest, every little community can run their own in their own time zone and a set period, once a week, once every 2 weeks. People sign up, they join. If they're there, they're there. If they're not, you have a good conversation with whoever is there. The big thing is about building community, and this FaceTime is important. I mean, I must say that, I'm learning from this, which is what was my objective, and now I'm encouraged to come back again, which is useful. And if that can happen to multiple people, if you, Daniel, and I both come back, this has been a successful town hall.
I agree. And so one last quick thing, sorry, I know I'm talking a lot, is somebody mentioned that they didn't even fill, I don't remember which committee it was, but they didn't even fill all the seats in the committee. It's like right now, we're still so early. There's only like 2,000 people, and I don't know the number, but 3,000 people that were interested. Like, we're getting too niche down already, and there's like not even enough people to fill all these separate niches. like the meat and potatoes is where all the focus should be right now. And then as more people come in, it's like, okay, redirect. And so if all the focus is here, and then you build the easy pathways from that point, those committees will get filled faster because there's more of an organizing central body that, and I hate to say it like that because then we get into the idea of centralization, which we all are obviously opposed to as a general principle. But yeah, I think that's what we need to focus on, is the meat and potatoes for right now.
Does anyone mind if I make a suggestion? And that's if people are amenable to it. I think this session has been phenomenally useful, certainly for me, and I think also for the likes of Gemma and Tex and those of us who actually work day to day in Intersect. If you guys are amenable, do you mind if can I put in a session to actually have a discussion specifically on this and onboarding and signposting with you guys and collect that input? Because one of the things that we've done is Intersect has been spun up in a hurry as a startup organization. So we've been running really hard and fast this year. What we probably haven't had enough time to do from certainly an onboarding perspective is sit down with people who are members, who have gone through that experience, who have joined, who have got on Discord, and to capture all of that feedback almost in a focus group. And a lot of what's been said here today has been really, really useful for me, for sure. Echoes some of my own thoughts. There's lots of things that I haven't thought of before. And I'd kind of like to run a focus group session with you guys, if that's possible, capture a lot of this, and then actually build out a strategy from that we run through the MCC, who have to then approve it, that it's fit for members, which then drives change.
I'm open to that for sure. The start time for this is the earliest that I can meet personally, just so you know.
Sure, no, that's fine. But I mean, I'll send something out. I'll send out an email probably next week, and try and find out what people's time zones look like. Maybe we break into smaller groups and capture that in 2s and 3s rather than one big group. I don't mind. But some of the things that, I mean, I've been frantically writing for the last half an hour, lots of notes and who said certain things that I'm keen to make sure I capture. And actually, it just occurs to me that it's just better to have a focus group and capture, record those sessions, format up all that content, play it back to people, and then we go and take it to the MCC and say, we've built a strategy out of our feedback from our community and from our members to make things better, sharper, more efficient, slicker, and we get approval to implement that.
Something that Pantelis pointed out, like time zone stuff, in the last governance tooling workgroup, there was a question or like a statement. I will join Intersect Town Hall if that would happen earlier in this morning because they are from America. I wonder if that would be something feasible and doable, that we have alternative time zones for Intersect Town Hall itself. Or should that be more like an extra community call to do that?
It's up to our community. You guys decide.
Okay. Let's see what can we do next month. It's not going to happen straight away, but yeah, we'll probably kick off a new scheduling option. But there is a danger, like, maybe the committee members don't share their available time zones, and then there is a decision because the only people who share their time zone say, okay, the morning time is interesting, well, let's try that. And then we have that morning time. None of the committee members are joining. Like, that's another danger. How do we get that? You're mentioning, like right now, when you said that, hey, let's gather this information and share it to committee. Where would Intersect Town Hall have that decision-making body or somebody who could help coordinate this thing? Would we have to go to all the committees, or would we go to Intersect staff, or how do we coordinate it? Because if we do it within the community, we decide within the community, but then comes Intersect staff says, no, we do it this way. And then all the work is kind of lost.
I've got an opinion on this. Don't know how valid it is, but kind of my expectation for a decentralized organization is that you do have more committed people who will create a lot of content that gets shared out to more also committed people who might have less time available, volunteer-based in different time zones. So I could, for example, host a meetup or a gathering in Bali. But if there's the content's being created, I could just share what's already being created and host, and then and get the move, take people through the motions. If there's any technical questions that I can't answer, I can direct them accordingly. And so as you start getting the same theme of questions, you develop the toolkit, I'll call it, for example, or the presentation or whatever you want. And then you trust in your participating members to share that. And there is some risk to that, obviously, but the reality is if somebody messes it up, then you just don't invite them to host that meeting again. So it's self-managed. It doesn't have to all fall on you guys. That's the whole point of this, that this does become decentralized.
Yeah, and that's what we also try to do.
Yeah, so I mean, that's kind of what I'm getting from this. I'm going to learn, cool, excellent. Then I know where to find the toolkit. Cool, already now when I start speaking to people on this side, I'm empowered and I could share the information.
Yeah.
Where's that message?
All right. If anybody else has something to share, we have Scott Dorsey here, and then Gemma, who didn't speak that much on that, or Nadia, do you have anything to share about what's wrong with Town Hall or what's not wrong with Town Hall so that we can use our best practices going forward?
My main feedback was communication, which I think has been picked up on this call. I think it was the outreach to the community, and we felt that in previous town halls that hadn't been done so much, and the content therefore wasn't as good. I think this town hall has been a huge success. I think we've done really well. It's been really nice to hear everybody's thoughts and opinions and to get a better engagement from the community overall. And I hope that it continues this way, because as I say, I think it's been really good. I do have to leave now as well, but thank you everybody for contributing and your time.
You were shining.
Yeah, cheers guys, thank you all.
As an aside, I guess the concept of the community might be something different from, or maybe like less focused on like the, I guess, like development and like open source Haskell programmers and so on, then I might be thinking. Is that right, or?
Well, there are a lot of topics. Right now, as you can see, there are no other developer after town halls, but this is something we would hope to. So if you want to share your open source community, signing up for an after town hall would be a perfect place, because then alternative to this call, there will be this whatever focus you want to share about your group or how it's related to. And then if it's done beforehand, we can already also like outreach, market it out that, hey, there is Nadia who is sharing this community. They are doing open source development. It's in Haskell. Maybe there's a connection point. Also, if you're already going to coordinate with text, it's from open source community, there is already some kind of connection. So you might get people from that community themselves or other work groups that joined this work group. So
yeah, I don't know. I just program. I don't know how to organize any of this stuff or anything like that. But I can tell you where the things are. I think I gave links to the different places, right? So
yeah, in the there will be a town hall summary which have all the links, and then you will also find the after town hall link, and then you can share it to the relevant people in your community who are maybe more those who are like to coordinate and kind of plan ahead who should meet and where should meet, and then the developers can come together and share their challenges, because there is a plenty of challenges in Bluetooth, which is also written in Haskell, and I think we might find ways to interact in your own language, not just English.
Oh, sure, yeah. So, yeah. Apart from that, I don't have any kind of real direct way to give like a whole lot of content, but yeah, I guess it's you're probably thinking more of like people who are maybe like doing some kind of business thing, or like.
This is up to the person who is creating the after town halls to choose the topic. So if you want to share a specific function or a Lambda thing or something, that's also an opportunity. Or teach your best practices you are doing in your language.
I'm not proposing anything. I'm trying to understand the discussion that I just heard.
Okay, I was just suggesting like different, like how after town hall works. So there can be different topics basically. So that suit more to your interests.
Okay. Thanks.
But Nicodemus, Scott, Daniel, Vani, any last comments before I stop the call?
I guess just to remind people that the next planning session is going to be in a week's time, and be nice to see people there.
5th September, same time as town hall, slightly different link. Yeah, and everything in Discord channel. And also when the video will come out, all the documents and links will be in the description. Okay, cool. Thanks for joining for the day. Oh, Scott, you are muted.
Okay, pretty much I just wanted to say if you guys are thinking about putting together a new member group or meeting or whatever, I would be interested in participating in that and trying to get that put together.
You are speaking of the onboarding work group that Nick mentioned?
Yes.
Correct. I will keep that in mind and put that into the after town hall summary and hand it over to Nick so he can contact me. He said he will share emails. So maybe you can privately share me the email so I can coordinate that to him.
Okay.
In case you're not the Intersect MBO staff member, then you, of course, it's not necessary.
Real quick, Tivo, what's your user in case I have to tag you in comment, or because there was something else I wanted to say and I forgot what it was.
In Discord, I am Tevo, saved as you can see in the Zoom chat. If you prefer email, you type it out. And the email is also something I look at. Or if you don't have anything specific to tell to me, or you want me to be aware, the Intersect Town Halls channel is something I will look almost every day.
Thank you.
Even if nobody pings me there. Okay, cool. For joining. And stop recording.